What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. Very happy to have Isaac back behind the camera. Give it a quick nod. He's back. Let's go. So today we're gonna go through my second leg day of the week. This is a little bit different than the first leg day. We have no leg press, and we're actually gonna start with machines. So we're gonna do 3 sets of leg curl, 12 to 15. We're gonna do 3 sets of leg extensions, 12 to 15. We're gonna come up here and actually use that hyperextension over there. We're gonna do 3 sets, 8 to 10. Then we're also gonna go down and basically probably my least favorite and my favorite leg machine is gonna do Smith machine squats. Right now, I absolutely love them. They're pause and they're slow eccentrics. They're absolutely brutal, but they toast my legs, give me a decent pump, and we'll finish off some calves. But also at the very end, we're gonna do some posing, also go over my macro split. I get that question all the time. Okay, what are calories, but then also how do you split up your macros? So I'll be going over all that as I, once again, am in prep. I know you guys wanna know what my macro split is and how you guys can implement that into your own training. So we'll go over that at the end. First things first, let's get this leg workout done. So first exercise, as I mentioned, is the leg curl. We did this on day 1, but now we're gonna start with it, primarily because I really wanna focus on my hamstring growth, so we're gonna put those earlier on in the workout. Here, once again, I mean, the biggest thing here, you can see on the exercise piece of equipment, everything's gonna have like a pivot point. So basically everything rotates around, and you basically want your knees to get as close to that pivot point as you can, so you have nice, good leverages. Then I personally now start to lean forward. I used to not, but I feel a better stretch in my hamstrings. So you're gonna be nice, controlled, all the way up, all the way down. Really squeeze these out. We're gonna do 2 warm-up sets and then our 3 working sets. Almost at the full stack. Almost. And so I recently lost one of these little headphone tips. Double check if you have Beats and they have these ear tips or whatever they're called. I lost mine. I went on Amazon and bought them without checking the box. They actually have extra ear tips in the box that the Beats came with. So my dumbass went on Amazon, bought more that I didn't even need. But now if I lose ear tips, I got plenty to go through, just FYI. But let's get some anime hardstyle going. First working set. All right, next exercise, leg extension, another 3 sets, 12 to 15. Another thing, so I'll still do warm-up sets, even though like my body's now kind of primed. I had a question on my last video, like, why did you continue warm-up sets with each and every exercise? At that point, it's not so much to warm up the muscle, that's what the treadmill's for. This is now to just like find the groove for each exercise. So instead of going right to my working set, I'm gonna do 1 or 2 warm-up sets, just get my based on my body knowing like what movement I want to do. So we're gonna do 2 warm-up sets, and then we'll get our 3 working sets in. And with these warm-up sets, we're not trying to like go anywhere close to failure. Just try to get once again, get in the groove of the movement, make sure all your muscles are firing correctly. I always say anywhere between 5 to 10 reps per warm-up set, and then do your working sets. Getting leaner. Quad separations, finally coming back. Best way, toast the quads. Leg days, gotta love them. All right, so next exercise of the day, we've got, what is it, like just like base or hyperextensions? But basically we're really focused on the glutes and hamstrings specifically. Basically what my coach tells me is like crack the walnut basically between your butt cheeks when you come up, really squeeze and get your hips into the actual pad. So as far as setting it up, I like to have a nice, decently wide stance, toes pointed slightly out, just best range of motion for me. And we're gonna go ahead, have the pad below your actual waist so it's not impeding how far you can bend over. That's obviously how you're gonna stretch your glutes and hamstrings. But yeah, let's just get into it. It's the hardest part, I swear. I'm out of breath, but also this is one of the few exercises I've actually added in recently into my program. Well, I say recently, last 6 months. That's something I've never really done before. My coach actually wanted me to just try it out, and honestly, I've been loving it. It definitely has been a great exercise to increase my strength on because my body has never done before. So my body kind of adapts. And you see that progress over time. I remember I started out at, I want to say my body weight, and now we're up to holding 2 plates for all 3 sets, which is definitely some major improvement over the last 6 months. And yeah, it feels really good on my glutes. Sorry guys, I'm out of breath. I need to work my cardiovascular endurance. Yeah, we're gonna do another couple sets here, 3 sets in total. I think this might be 8 to 12 or 12 to 15. I don't know, it'll be on the screen, but yeah, we're gonna finish this off and go downstairs to do those positioning squats. Also, I like pretty much never train this late. It's, what time is it right now? 8:43. I'm always like a noon to 2 guy. I basically split my work blocks into like a morning work block and I work out and then afternoon work block. But I kind of like training at night. I don't know, I haven't done it in a while. Still on no caffeine. Energy actually feels really good. I have obviously more food in me because instead of having 2 meals, I think I have 4 meals in me right now. So I have a little more energy and feel a little bit more full. We'll see how it affects my posing later on, but we got the seated calf raise. We're gonna do 3 sets, 10 to 12, full pause at the bottom, squeeze all the way up. So train calves just like any other muscle group, nothing fancy, and slow that down. The amount of times that my clients send me videos of them doing calf raises, the full stack, and they're just bouncing using that stretch reflex. Strip the weight, slow it down, pause at the top, squeeze as far as you can at the top, or pause at the bottom, squeeze as far as you can at the top. Even when you're at the top, you think you're done, there's always a little bit more range of motion. Think about getting those angles forward, kicking those calves up even more. And yeah, 3 sets of 10 is all you need.
How does those look? They're coming in, leaning out a little bit.
Also, I got sunburnt yesterday. It kind of, I don't know if you guys can see, it's a little red. Yeah, it's still a little red. But here in Ohio, we actually finally got some sun and some warm weather. So I took Maisie on like an 1.5-hour walk the other day, and I kind of got burnt, so hopefully this doesn't hurt my shoulders too bad, but we'll see. That is the one reason I absolutely love Smith machines and machines right now. There'd be no way in hell I could have gotten those last 2 reps on a barbell or free weight. Although my form definitely fell apart a little bit at the end there, my hips started to shoot back, I can still grind it out and push that intensity even further. But we're gonna go ahead, take some deep breaths, try to bring that heart rate back down. We'll head in there, do a little bit of posing, and we'll talk about macros. All right, so a question I get a lot since I post basically full days of eating a lot of times and basically like a lot about nutrition is basically how do you set up a macro split? And before we get into like the full macros, I will say for most people out there, unless you are going to compete or perform at a very high level, basically calories and protein are pretty much what matters. Protein-wise, there are a couple different methodologies or schools of thought, but more studies are coming out between, I would say, 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight, and then 0.8 to 1 gram being if you're like in a building phase, and then 1 gram to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight if you're more in like a cutting phase. And once again, there are outliers. If you're super, super skinny or you're super, super overweight, then you probably want to go based off lean mass, but it can kind of give you a rough estimate. For me, once again, I'm in a cutting phase, so I am 170-ish pounds right now, started out my cut at 180, and I was eating 200 grams of protein because I want to be on the higher side, close to that 1.2 grams per pound of body weight as I entered my cut. During my bulk, I was probably a little bit closer to 1 gram, maybe slightly under. As far as fats, those are another essential macronutrient. I would say you probably want 0.2 to 0.3 grams per pound of body weight. Your body cannot function without fat. It needs it for its hormone balances, all kinds of stuff. Once again, I like a range because when I'm bulking, I fill up very, very quickly on carbs. So I need to add more fats because 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, where 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. So when I'm bulking, my fat probably climbs up to be maybe 0.3, sometimes even 0.4 grams per pound of body weight. But on a cut right now, I'm right around 50 grams, which is definitely closer to that 0.2 to 0.25 grams per pound of body weight. And then essentially you just want to fill the rest of your calories with carbs. So after you have your protein set, your fat set, then just go ahead and fill the rest of your calories up with carbs. Once again, your calorie goal, go check out my calorie maintenance video that you can determine your maintenance if you want to enter a surplus or a deficit. And then your carbs kind of fill in the rest. Your carbs can fluctuate. Once again, this is going to be how you set things up, but then you can obviously adapt it. If you notice you kind of crash, if you have too many carbs too early in the day, definitely kind of manipulate your carbs. If your body might run better on fats, you kind of just feel better having a little bit higher fat diet. That's where you kind of have that personalization. But real quick, I know a lot of people ask, like, what's your percentages? So let me pull it up real quick. So once again, my percentages change when I'm on a bulk. It's definitely different. But right now, my current percentages on my cut. So right now, I am 45% carbs, 35% protein, and then 20% fat. As I mentioned, when I'm in a bulk, I'm probably closer to maybe like 30 fat, 30 protein, 40 carb. But as I mentioned right now, we are at 45% carbs, 35% protein, and then 20% fat on the cut for a total of 225 calories. But yeah, that's how you set up your macros. Once again, set those up and then adjust them, experiment, go high carb, low carb, see what your body feels best at, and then you can kind of basically make those adjustments to your personal needs and go from there. But the biggest thing is what makes you feel good. That's the most important thing. And then really it comes down to a calorie count as well as some protein and obviously training intensely. But yeah, we'll do a quick little posing. Once again, this is the not safe for work warning. So we're gonna do some posing and then wrap things up. So that's a wrap. Definitely enjoying leaning out. I feel like I'm looking better. Honestly, day by day, week by week. Actually, not day by day, definitely week by week. I think my body's natural set point is probably closer to 170. So the cut from about 183 to 170, I think it's gonna be really easy and smooth sailing like it has been. And I think 170 to 160 and below that is definitely gonna be like the grind period, like where I do have to surpass my limits. Otherwise, feeling good. We'll go ahead and wrap up today's video here. Once again, if you have any questions about macros, definitely leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer all of those. But yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.